Well, and welcome to the Palm Bay Report. My name is Kevin Jeffrey, your moderator, and I'm joined as always by Lance Fisher, former Deputy Chief of the Palm Bay Police Department, as well as Ruth Kofold, who is a longtime Palm Bay resident. Palm Bay City Council meeting, there was hope the meeting before that there would be a change of vote in the public comment. Mm-hmm. And everyone thought that was going to happen, but lo and behold, what happened, Lance?
Well, first, let me say this. So, as bad as the July 3rd council meeting was, the last two council meetings have probably been just as good. So I do want to commend them on moving forward. So on the July 17th council meeting, Mayor Medina had asked for reconsideration to bring the public comments, the viewing portions of the public comments back. The citizen had gotten up and said basically that one of the reasoning behind not showing the public comments for FCC violations. And she kind of brought them some evidence, some research that FCC doesn't regulate city council meetings. Mm-hmm. And so with that, the mayor said, okay, that was the city attorney said, let's do a reconsideration. And so they had to vote on that. So they council did a vote. It was Mayor, Councilman Hammer, and Councilman Johnson, who previously had voted to silence the citizens, who voted to bring it back for reconsideration. So that was supposed to have been done this last week on the August 7th meeting. It didn't happen.
And so you knew from the very beginning, and Ruth, at the very beginning of this, you see that Kenny Johnson doesn't show up. And so you're thinking at that point in time, this is not going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. And so they pulled it from the agenda, right?
Yes, with Jaffe kicking and screaming, and Chandler.
Why was he kicking and screaming?
Because he wanted the vote to go forward so that it wouldn't pass, and that once again the Palm Bay citizens would be silenced. Mm-hmm. And this time would have been for my understanding is would have been for a year.
So you would have been able to vote on it again.
That was my understanding.
Because there were votes there. I mean, you had 4 people that were available, right? Absolutely. You could have voted on the measure, and he thought if you voted on it, it would probably have been what?
It would have been 2-2 push and would not have passed. Okay. It takes 3 to pass.
And then that would have ended it for another year.
That would have ended it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't understand, though, Ruth. I mean, since they voted, and that you made the point, Lance, that on the site, they weren't getting very many people since BrevardNEWS, through your photography skills, thank you, Lance.
But I also know about power and money. Tyrants, Jaffe is a tyrant, okay? He acts like a tyrant, and he is one. He wants all kinds of power. He tells us how, great and how much he runs a company, but he doesn't run a company that has any input from anybody else. Mm-hmm. So him and the mayor are just fine, and if he doesn't understand that when you're on a city council, you are beholden to the citizen.
Do you think that he's looking at it just from a business point of view, that he's the CEO and you peasants need to listen to me?
I think that's the way he acted the last meeting that I was at. When I was there and I told him, I said, you might want to go back 250 years because this is how come we have a Declaration of Independence, because we did not want to be under a tyrant, and you're acting like a tyrant. You can sit there and tell me how much you're not, but you obviously are acting like it. Mm-hmm. There's a difference. There's words and then there's action. Mm-hmm. So all these people that want to tell me how constitutional they are, well, you need to walk in my shoes, you need to teach my students, and then you need to be quiet.
Well, it doesn't seem like they're constitutional at all. So they go and pull from the agenda.
Yeah.
So they don't vote on it. So do you think the mayor was trying to protect it because he understood that if you took a vote, that it would have been another year before you could vote on it again?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of the ordinances that are passed by many of these municipalities, many of them have been deemed unconstitutional.
Yes.
Quite a few of them.
Right.
And so it's just really interesting that they pass these ordinances, and I guess it's up to the citizens to push back on it.
Right.
If the citizens don't push back on it, it's as much as law, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter how.
Right. And he doesn't. They all don't like us sitting up here talking. They all don't like me showing up, because it used to be when my team would be there. My team, there's 4 people on my team, and because I would become here to visit Madison a couple of times.
Correct.
And do a lot of stuff for Brevard Coach, but they would call me and they go, "Ooh, why is she here?" They're going, something's going on, and I'm like, yeah, something's going on, because I did watch the P&Z meeting. I did watch the council meetings. It's not like I don't have to be there to know what's going on.
And you could see in this council meeting, this past council meeting,
Mhm.
and so no vote. So does this come up at the next council meeting when Kenny Johnson returns?
My understanding has to go back for reconsideration. So the mayor will once again have to ask for reconsideration, get that vote to bring it back again. So that's
So you start all the way back.
That's the way. Right. That's the way it explained to me.
One of the other things that you see is that is going on is there was the Citizen Accountability Task Force that came up. Lance, and what's involved in that?
So this again was brought forth by the mayor, and he's openly talked about fiscal responsibility. He's talked about inspector generals. He's talked about audits and all that. I don't think we've seen them yet, but he's talked a lot about them. And Chandler's been open about fiscal responsibility as well. So he talked about this Citizens Accountability Task Force, and basically, just to highlight it, it would provide insights in fiscal and budgetary accountability, provide industry insight and best practices, and it would the makeup would include professionals in the field, not even if they weren't in Palm Bay. So they would go out and they would find the best of the best throughout this area, even if they're not Palm Bay citizens. And here's what's interesting, right? So, and the reason for this would be to enhance transparency and trust in the budget process. It would go from January to June, be open to the public, make recommendations, changes, or eliminations of city services. City staff is not bound by the recommendations. And all the mayor was asking is, give it a year. If you don't like it, we'll move on with life.
Okay, so this sounds good, Lance, and call me cynical, but Ruth, I'm wondering, is this a pretext for removing the cap?
Oh my goodness. Let's talk about the cap just a second.
No,
Oh my goodness.
If you have this in
Yeah,
place, you
prove
say,
it.
hey, we have some people
If you
who
think
are going to control the spending.
Mhm.
Is this a pretext for it?
I would say so. I would say they're trying to, fill up their coffers to see how much the cap, well, I'm going to tell you, 2 votes of no. What part of no don't they get? Citizens voted no on it two elections in a row.
Would you agree with the accountability task force?
If the citizens, it's purely citizen motivated, citizens driven.
So what do you mean citizen driven?
I don't want their input.
Okay.
Okay.
So it
So
has to be
we
totally
have to
employee
talk
driven.
to
want
this.
whose input?
I don't want the council's input.
Oh, because the council doesn't want citizens' input.
No,
No, based on Chandler.
absolutely not.
Or Jaffe, I'm sorry, apologize. Jaffe literally says that. He said he doesn't want to listen to advisory boards and tell us how to vote.
There you go.
So I got confused with what you were saying.
Yeah.
So I'll start interrupting.
No,
So-
you're good. No, you're good. Because I want a pure citizen elected group. Okay. So right now, and I don't even agree, and I'm on the commission. I don't agree with how the commission is formulated. I don't like it because if you have unbalanced council, you're going to have an unbalanced commission.
We're going to get to your issue with the commission, but before we leave the Citizen Accountability Task Force, do you think this is going to happen?
Probably not, with
Do you think
not
it's
the
gonna
way
happen?
Jaffe is.
I do, and if you don't mind, I just want to run through because I think it's very important Jaffe's input on this one. So I think what will happen. Chandler was all about it. He's all about fiscal, but
So
Jaffe,
Chandler's about it.
Medina's about it.
So then
Yeah.
you need, and Hammer
And
probably.
Hammer's about
So
it.
that'd be, okay.
Yeah, but Jaffe literally says, I run a $250 million company and I don't need to be advised on how to run a budget. He doesn't want to listen to advisory boards and he doesn't want them to tell him how to vote and he doesn't want to waste their time or the staff's time.
Does he realize what country he's in?
Well, the mayor does because this is what, and I could see them two colliding here on this one. And I almost bet that after this was over, there was some conversations had because the mayor literally said, if we believe that we are all arrived and we are all knowledgeable and we don't need to take input from our citizens, that's a bad place to be in. And I never want to be in a place like that.
Well, good for you.
Yeah. And then Jaffe's like, we have emails and phone numbers. He says, I'm willing to have conversations anytime, any day. If they're not a resident, he literally says, if they're not a resident, I don't need to hear from them. And to me, it's just crazy that this guy literally doesn't want to hear. He believes that
He's all knowing and all seeing.
absolutely.
You live.
I just hope that's his campaign. I hope
so.
run on that.
Come on. Yeah, run on transparency. Go ahead.
Run on your votes, right?
Right.
When you go to knocking on doors, be like, just knock on the door when they answer, turn around. I don't need to hear from you and walk away.
Yeah.
Literally, just do that.
But that's not what he's going to do. What
not.
these people do
Of
is they
course
just
not.
run a lot of mailers. They try to run a lot. They get a lot of money, and they try to run an end game around the people, and they go to the low information
Then we
voters
get to the PAC.
who pay no attention to what's going on.
That's
and
right.
That's how they try to win it.
Well,
So he doesn't believe that he has to really defend his record.
Well, see, even Chandler, he hasn't paid for his debt yet from the last election.
Yeah.
The research that I heard from my team, they said he hasn't paid his bills yet. Now, I haven't gone over to Jaffe to see what his campaign account looks like, because it's all public comment or public records,
Yeah.
So I encourage every citizen, go out there, look at their campaign accounts. They are available.
And it really
Make
shows
sure that they have paid
shows
them
you who
off.
They are. It shows you who they are.
Because this
campaign records do not lie.
That's right.
Just look at who donated to who.
Well,
it tells you a lot about who they belong to. The Review Commission.
The Charter Review Commission. We should have started before now.
We should have started by now. So tell us again what the Review, if I can get it out, Review Commission is, and why have you guys not started?
Well, the Charter Review Commission takes a look at the entire charter, which is the laws of the city. And then the ordinances are the things within the law that make it happen. So this is where I get a little cranky when I see council members changing ordinances whenever they want to. Because I'm sitting here going, we have to put whatever we want to them, to the council, and then whatever passes the council goes to the ballot. So this 3% cap has gone to the ballot twice in 6 years.
It's been rejected.
Every single.
So why do you think you guys have not had a meeting, or that you haven't started?
Because last month they said when they said about we're having a commission, because this commission is out of cycle. Usually the commission comes on the census. Okay?
Right. But the city council
wanted to have another one. Yeah.
And
I volunteered a long time ago. I volunteered during the last one.
2 people, right?
Each councilman, yes.
So they anointed this. Why has it not started?
Somewhere along the line, somebody recommended that they have an advisor to the commission to oversee it.
Why?
I guess they don't trust us. I don't have any idea. So when I sent a request to the clerk and I said, I haven't seen anything as to when we're going to start. I said, when's that going to happen? They said, as soon as this consultant comes to help us. And I said, why don't you just drop that idea? Because you said you were going to, hold all projects.
We can't let you guys just run out there loose like yourself.
Yeah.
And one last thing before we leave, Lance, you are going to be interviewed by Madison Audits. Kudos to you, man. That's no small task. I wish I could get that gig and interview me, but actually he's going to be on with us this week. But when is that coming up? And give us a little preview of it.
Well, I'll tell you, him and I sat down, and he's a former officer as well, and he does a lot of good stuff. I've been following him for a while, and he does a real good job of pointing out police misconduct and holding cities and police departments accountable, which is something that I've recently tried to do. As a former deputy chief of the Palm Bay Police Department. So I made the drive, and we sat down. I think we talked for 4 hours. It literally felt like 15 minutes, and we talked about a lot of stuff and a lot of things that we see in law enforcement, and in particular some of it about Palm Bay. I'm always going to shout out to Palm Bay when I can, because I think we're going in the wrong direction with the leadership in that agency, and I've been highly critical of it. And to the point where Jaffe says that he's embarrassed I was ever the deputy chief of the Palm Bay Police Department, which I thought was a little disheartening. That
you're over the top, isn't it?
Well, it's not even that. You're embarrassed that somebody will come out and openly speak about misconduct, but you're not embarrassed of misconduct. You're not embarrassed that you're not embarrassed that your chief of police and your next chief have had conversations about shooting children with pellet rifles. You're not embarrassed that a pregnant female is struck, forearm struck to the face while she's handcuffed. And justified or not, right? It's still bad precedent. And so that's what you should be embarrassed about. You should be embarrassed that your chief is on body camera berating Melbourne cops. Months later, berates them at leadership training. So that's what you should be embarrassed about. Don't be embarrassed about me. Because I tried to do this behind closed doors for months. And again, in this last council meeting, you'll see I said, I don't have any pending lawsuits with the city.
reach out to me. I would love to sit down with each one of you. I will sit down with Chief Agello, his command staff, and I will tell you what's going wrong with your agency.
So when you and Madison compared notes, did you see similar things that you got?
Absolutely.
So here's the thing: is that the thin blue line and talking about what goes on that is wrong in the police department is like touching Social Security. You're not supposed to talk about it. You're not supposed to even deal with it. But all across this country, there's an explosion of people doing audits. I mean, just an explosion of it. And I saw a police officer come on and actually gave some of the best advice he could give to police departments around the country. Stop making a fool of yourself.
Right.
That these people who are doing the audit and the response that these officers are having to them, it's not good. He said, you're making yourself look like fools. And what they're doing is constitutional. And so this guy with James Madison Audits has been at it, and he does it, I think, better than many people do. He's not obnoxious about it. He's very professional, and he really does a good job. And so you guys, when is that interview coming out?
It's going to be later this month. Like I said, we talked for 4 hours, so he's probably going to piecemeal that a little bit. And, you know, sometimes I can talk forever, so I'm sure he's going to mute some of it on me as well. So, but I'm looking forward to it. You know, he has a huge audience. I think it's 400,000 subscribers. And so I've been trying to get my message out because, as you know, Kevin, man, I've sent emails to DOJ, FBI, FDLE. I've sent my stuff out there. I've put it out there. I've reached out every Brevard reporter there is multiple times a month. Last week alone, I tried to get them to even look at this Tamara Hatcher case, and I can't get any of them because this umbrella in Brevard County is tough.
Thank you for joining us. My name is Kevin Jeffrey, and I've been joined by Ruth Kofold as well as Lance Fisher. We'll see you next time on the Palm Bay Report.